Also, no line of sight that easily for our killer. There's one light at the door, so they were not instantly on the gate here. But you can't really commit, right? No. Now you have the signal, though. This is going to be the escape. But there's a hatch in play. And
hey, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube. Let's get ready for another trip here back into the fog, this time with some Blood Moon League action. We're going to be seeing a team here who we have actually already seen some exciting games from over here on the YouTube from the Blood Moon League. That's going to be Osiris as they take on Team Crunch and what is realistically going to be these two teams competing for an elimination stage spot from Group A. These two teams are going to be starting off with two of the most exciting killers to watch, or at least that's the way that I rated them in the most recent tier list here. Starting with the Nurse on the Cold Tower. Then we're going to be quickly moving on to the Blight on the Blood Lodge. And then we are going to be heading to the Suffocation Pit to get down with the sickness. Seeing the Plague as our third and decisive set. Don't forget every like, comment, share. That all helps us out with that good old YouTube algorithm as we do chase down 500 subscribers over here on the channel, where we do post not only competitive DBD, not just here from the Wolfpack, but actually all across the globe, including from the Oceanic region. We also post up some fun and silly builds and gameplay as well, and we do some like discussional videos from time to time, like why DBD should implement a scoring system and a scoreboard similar to what we see right here in competitive DBD. We're posting like literally daily, so make sure to check down below, smack that thing, and then tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody about it. All right, but let's get back to some Blood Moon League action. If you do want to keep up with what the Wolfpack has going on as far as competitive DBD, I'm going to have their Discord down in the description below. But for now, enjoy some Osiris versus Crunch. And until we do catch y'all back over here for the next video, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love harder. All right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out. All right, let's go ahead and take another trip here back into the fog. Should look familiar here, back on the Cold Tower with the Nurse. This time it's going to be for Osiris on the killer, starting off their matchup between them. We see not finding them. Oh, I thought we were going to be able to find a connection here. Actually, onto that Survivor, we're not going to be able to do so. I thought we were going to be able to see a very early engagement. Oh, and a Ruin getting cleansed 30 seconds into this trial as well. Now going to be seeing a tag at least onto the Meg, but I don't know if Meg's got anywhere else to go. Got the window here at Shack, but not anywhere else besides that. And I don't know. Nope, no basement over here at least. So at least no basement hook early, but this is a down in your uncorrupt gens.
yeah, this is a very strong start for our Nurse here. 60 seconds into the trial, and you already have the down and the way towards the hook, applying that first stage. Really, really strong, and we are now using the hill to locate a potential rescuer. Even that shows the awareness for the map surroundings here. Strong start for our killer from Team Osiris. The survivors wanting to go for these generators, and we do need some pressure. We do see some pressure there. Survivor leaving early, but this hook location, Q, you talked about it, in the middle of the active generator is allowing you quite some pressure and slow down. The only generator that might be completed really soon is the main one.
Yeah, I mean, right now, and especially part of that is because of this kind of like strange corrupt, like the split corrupt that we're seeing here, right? Usually, or I shouldn't say usually, but quite often we see that corrupt fully taking care of that top side. In this case, though, not going to be quite the situation we are going to be seeing, though. Crunch now going to be able to at least get the save before the second stage is forced. A second survivor, though, is now injured, so 10% slowdown. Now onto the Thanatophobia, swing and a miss here onto the Felix. Felix unfortunately went for the locker tech instead of just went straight through. Had they not gone for the locker tech, would have been able to create some distance. Instead was kind of forced to stay back here around the Shack. So this is indeed going to be hook number 2. Not just hook number 2. This is fresh hook number 2 in exchange for just one generator.
Yeah, the 1-2
shit,
generate. This makes things a little bit better for the survivor side here. And what they managed is at least dragging the killer more towards the shack side. So you have removed the killer and the pressure from the mid of the map. This will give you more access towards the top side generators. But there's a 3-gen on the bottom. Well played by the survivor team, though, that the deliverance is there on the bottom side, so this is going to cut quite some time from the survivor team, but this time and pressure is being straight up back thrown onto the survivor team with a beautiful double blink here, and this is going to be another tag onto the ace, so things might shake around here if that's a double down.
Yeah, this is going to be really big. I mean, even with just the one slug, it is going to be requiring an additional survivor over. That's less pressure onto the generators itself. Not going to be able to get the down, though, and I think because of that, making the right decision. Doubling back over. Oh, we do see, though, there are some scratch marks back here. Able to get this survivor up off of the ground. This does lead to 4 injured survivors here. Not going to be able to get the M1. An additional +10 wood added to the face as well by the Meg. We did just see 2 survivors here, though. Yeah, it's the Meg as well. Oh, we got a firecracker. Did enough to avoid that.
Oh.
Not going to be able to. Nice job with the pallet. Really good job by the survivors, but we're running out of resources.
I have to say, I feel like these survivors are running on edge and they are still so confident doing that. Like, other teams would panic, other teams would become really chaotic, and this team here is on edge to be snowballed, and they are literally chilling. They are playing so confident. They are looking so good in what they are doing. Huge compliment to Team Crunch. That looks really, really juicy what they are putting up here, and I wouldn't be surprised if they either manage to put all this time into a reset or into a few additional generators here, because now our nurse also starting to become a little bit insecure when we talk about these blinks.
Yeah, it is interesting, the thought process at this point, right? Because on one end, you would really like to get some generators done. On the other end, I don't know how comfortable I would be feeling with all of my survivors being just 1 health state away from being down the ground. Yeah, we've seen a couple blinks that maybe haven't found their connection, but I also have always kind of found nurse blinks that, I don't know, I've always kind of equated them like a jump shot. Once you start hitting them, you just seem to find your rhythm. We do see, though, 2 generators getting done. That's big. The question is, how close are we to getting generator number 5 done? Because we see pushing into the generators where they just got done. If this 3rd survivor was on a gen, maybe over in that far side from the map from where we're at now, not by the hook, but further up towards Shack, that might be getting close to completion.
This is now another down here. This is huge. This is going to put some decision making now onto the survivor team. Do you go for gen number 5 but might be punished with losing both of your teammates here, or are you going to go for an unhook and allow the killer to keep the generators for a little bit longer? There's going to be the unhook. Quick check if they are accessing the left side of the main building. That's going to be the case. There's the Felix, still healthy, so he could go on a longer run here. The injury coming through, 2 other survivors injured. One of them needs to save cross map, so this leaves 1 survivor on a generator, and now the downs are coming in very, very quick.
Yeah, I mean, we had seen where our survivors had done a very good job at being, I mean, honestly, super efficient, right? We talk about really being able to pound out some generators for just a couple of stages, honestly, after we had gone on a little of attempt with the slugs. And now at this point, this is going to be a 2nd stage onto the Jake, going to be seeing the pop kick up on this top right corner of the map. Can't help but wonder, though, this generator that's back here at 3, kind of by the Pride Rock, what kind of progress does it have? Because we know this generator in front of main doesn't have much progress, and we see a reset now coming onto the ace. Maybe if we have our whole squad resetting, this would be absolutely huge for Crunch.
Now going to be once again the decision making. Quick unhook, quick gen, or quick reset. That's the 3 options here. One of them is going for a gen. One is receiving a reset over there. I do like this split of the survivor team right now. One is prioritizing the objectives, the others are not going to take too much risk though, so you have a backup kind at all time, even though if this survivor at the generator here would be caught and downed, you have two survivors still being healthy with the reset there. Our killer is going to teleport back, and really nice move here, cutting off the Jake that was about to run for the unhook. There was a miscalculation with the time. I don't think Flux would have made that anyway, so this is going to be a little bit of efficiency dropping down there on the side of the survivor team of Team Crunch. Survivors leaving the generator early. Now is the question, where do you take the next chase and do you commit to it? But right now it's still very likely that generator number 5 is coming out.
Yeah, we've definitely seen our survivors doing a good job of fighting thus far. Nice job with the flashlight there in order to get the blind back here as well. Just more time wasted. You mentioned maybe being enough time to buy for generator number 5. I mean, there are currently 2 stacks of the Thanatophobia, so there is going to be 10% slowdown on those gens currently. Not sure if maybe the Jake and the Ace are split up or if they're actually on the same gen. Regardless, we're far away from any of the gens really, with this Meg getting sacrificed far away in this back corner over here, kind of at that 7 position. So quickly checking in here. That's going to be enough time for generator number 5. Does allow for our survivors to split our doors here as well. Going to be interesting to see what kind of tactics our nurse here happens to take, because we have already uncovered the entirety of the build, right? We know that there's no end game, there's no end, there's no way out. At this point, all you need is a couple of seconds to open a door. Haven't been able to find ourselves a survivor. The question is, if our survivors are over here, have they already had enough time to open this door?
Yeah, that's going to be something we'll find out soon. Also, no line of sight that easily for our killer. There's one light at the door, so they were not instantly on the gate here, but you can't really commit, right? No, you have the signal though. This is going to be the escape, but there's a hatch in play, and Jake
no way
that into 7 stages into the escape here. What a turn of Team Crunch there. 7 stages. That's 5 stages out of the door for Team Crunch here. That's an incredible nurse performance.
That was absolutely phenomenal. A great job as far as by the nurse, but just being able to pull things out on the survivor side. You get the one out the door, you get the other survivor out the hatch, perfectly timed here, and did really what you kind of want to do on the survivor side, right? Yeah, maybe you don't take the lead in match number 1, but coming out on the survivor side where there's less points available, you're able to minimize that lead. So you're looking at only a 2-point deficit of 15 to 17.
Very, very nice turn for Crunch here. And this last second pull, this is something the killer can now pick up and try to make work for himself. So we are going to switch the sides here. It's now going to be Crunch on the killer side, and we are going to find out if they can match the 7 stages and go for 8 to take the win here after a short break. And we are back with the second trial between Osiris on the survivor side now and Team Crunch. 8 stages for the killer will be the set win for Team Crunch. First survivor is found really early. Emanuele is going to go into the main building. Unfortunately, this is not going to be the first tag, but we do locate blood, and this might be the chase we're committing to, because Nia also going towards the active generator is usually something where we want to chase.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to get the tag here too. So you mentioned being able to get in through. I mean, unfortunately, it does look like Nia might be trying to... No, actually, not completely going towards the corrupt side of our map. We do see, though, was able to bring us towards a Nancy who was working onto a generator. We were able to push her off that gen. That is going to bring that ruin into play. Starts progressing that generator. Nice firecracker to be able to prevent the second blink. Allows for some distance here. I do like this build that was brought in here by our killer. I think that shows you what kind of pressure they're feeling right now, and you've been able to get a couple tags, but we're at 90 seconds and we haven't gotten it down, and I kind of feel like you're at the point where you would really like to at least make sure you've gotten one down, right?
Yeah, you want a first down in the corrupt timer, right? And now we are around about 30 seconds away from expiring. There's going to be generator number 1 without a down so far. Crunch is going to struggle a little bit here because Osiris is looking really strong right now. There's Karma taking a hit though. 3 survivors in... Okay, never mind. There's the reset across the way here. 2 survivors injured, so they are also not becoming very confident here at the very beginning, saying like, hey, we had a nice early game, let's crank to the generators. I like that they're taking an additional second to go for a reset here, keeping it safe, and Claudette also doing a really good job right here.
Yeah, really doing a good job of getting a lot out of a little too, right? Like not really using any sort of resources or anything. Just being able to hold Shift W, gets out to the edge map, gets to those line of sight blockers here. I mean, now at this point, it's allowed for a full reset. Maybe our survivors, able to bait out the swing as well. So you're able to get a little bit longer of a cooldown. Really extends the chase. Little by little now causes Sorrow to have to break chase here. Pushes to this middle gen overrater over here. You can hear that thing knocking. Unfortunately, though, if no one's working on it, going to start regressing thanks to that ruin there. It looks like we're trying to find... This is the Nancy now taking a tag, but just had gotten healed across the way. So only one person injured. You've really got to get it down right now.
You need it down, and these survivors are also all holding W towards the bottom side, making the decision of commitment really difficult, because if you do commit, you're going to lose some of your objectives. And this is another very nice juke by Adam here. Really strong by Sorrow here. Absolutely fantastic performance so far by our survivor team. They're looking really strong, and if they additionally cleanse this ruin very soon, things are going to become even more difficult for our killer here.
Yeah, especially because you managed to cleanse your totems in the right order, right? Now you don't have to worry about any sort of regression from the ruin. Yeah, you've got the Thrill the Hunt that's still up that will probably end up coming into play when it comes to cleansing the Pentimento. That will eventually come into play, but you're only going to have to worry about 1 stack of Pentimento because you're not going to be worrying about that other totem over there. So this is going to be a hook though. First hook all the way back here by Shaq. Not sure if I was going to say we have enough time for that middle gen. There's middle gen at least getting done. Really at this point, if the survivors can break up this 3 gen, there's at least the 4 gen getting broke up, but the 3 gen up on top side is still intact here. So if they can get that done, they're going to be vibing through the rest of this trial.
Yeah, if this generator this is one of the most important generators for the entire match here. If that one is getting done, I think we can maybe hear some early celebration in their voice chat if we would be down there. They are so far playing an absolutely phenomenal performance here. They have 2 stages, 1 stage, it's 1.
1 stage. Yep.
Don't mind me.
Discord
1
things.
stage.
We know.
1 stage for 3 generators here, and this is a really strong performance. Now there is the Pentimento in play though, but I think the survivor also saw that the killer is going down there, so this will be a quick call out, I expect, and then Osiris is going to work on this totem there very soon. They're taking a hit now, but they are all also healthy due to their constant resets. Osiris has everything on point right now.
Ooh, nice use of the dead hard here as well to not only be able to avoid the miss, but was able to kind of break the line of sight. And now we're going to make Sorrow kind of go into a guessing game, using that time to get the double back here. This is big time and value. There's the Pentimento now getting cleansed here, so no more 30% slowdown. Yeah, you've gotten yourself another hook here, but when you talk about needing to get somewhere around that 8 stage marker, probably not too far from losing generator number 4. Sorrow really needs to go on a tear here.
Now going to be Sorrow trying to go for the main building here. Knows that there's a survivor up there. Unfortunately not reaching it in time. Kama still on hook. There's the Nia moving in for the rescue. She will get it in time as well. So this is not going to end in a trade. At least not instantly. Nia with a nice double back, but a nice double blink stopping blood from escaping here. This is going to be an important hook behind the main building here, is going to be where you want to defend your 3-gen, where you want to keep an eye onto these generators. Nancy already moving in, another attack. Now our nurse seems to pick up some confidence here.
Yeah, we see gonna be able to start getting these tags. I mean, I wonder if part of it is you have less to focus on, right? You're not worried about trying to protect a ruin or protecting a Pensamento. Now it's just pure, hey, I've got 3 gens left. I need to do what I can to be able to establish the downs. We see pushing up here towards this generator up at 11. That's going to be the Claudette. Karma just going to go ahead and start pre-leaving. Is that a second survivor over here? That is a second survivor. That is the injured Nia surrendering themselves. I'm not sure if maybe that's because we've got a survivor across the way that's got a little bit another gen closer than this one, but unfortunately that's another stage that we're handing over to the nurse.
Yeah, I would really like to see if the dynamic is now being picked up, because Sorrow did show us the right ideas. Unfortunately, the blinks were not coming through, but if he's now able to pick that up here, that would be really, really strong. We do see Nia going down, Karma being close by as well, but our killer actually not taking the risk here, just going for the stages. I mean, we are on 4 stages at the moment, right? And you do need kind of 8 stages there. You still have a generator standing. You can make that work. Osiris needs a lot of stages out of the door here. So I kind of understand that you don't want to be too risky right here. And these blinks are now actually really on point.
Yeah, doing a really good job. I mean, now you've got 3 survivors across the way, all injured. And of course, with that potential snowball potential from the nurse, you got to be feeling a little bit better. Unfortunately, though, there is generator number 5. I think we had seen an adrenaline value off in the distance as well onto at least one of our survivors here. So right now, you have 4 survivors all in play here. No Ed. No way out. Looks like might have been trying to prog balance landing. Not exactly sure there, but that is at least going to be the down onto the Nancy. I don't think that's enough stages, though. I think you need the slug here, and we're going to see the doors opening. Yeah, I don't think that's enough stages, right?
I don't think it will be enough. Emanuele was definitely hooked before, if I'm not mistaken, and we do need 8. If he's a complete fresh hook, it might be a tie with the 7 stages. I'm not entirely sure about that.
We got to see the heels coming in. Makes you think maybe?
Yeah, maybe they are aware of this as well. I need to pull this. Emanuele is actually a fresh hook. That would be a tie if I'm not mistaken. So they need the pull and the out here.
Yeah, this is going to be big. And what's unfortunate is the
leave.
They leave?
They don't want to take a trade, very likely, and in a loss. We're not entirely sure. It depends a bit on the fresh hooks. Our scorekeepers
True.
are going to give us a result in a second here, but this might be a run back on the nurse set, on the coal tower here. That would be really intense.
Yeah, I mean, especially after the way the first matchup started too, right? With the overtime in that first set as well. That's really interesting, because it's definitely going to come down to how the fresh hooks are spread across the board. It does look like we're getting a confirmation in the background. We want to make sure that, of course, we have that right. But man, talk about 2 teams again, so tightly matched here. Oh no.
Crunch pulled it. They have 4 fresh hooks.
Oh, wow. They spread it across all 4. So even though you're at the same stages, because all 4 survivors had gotten hooked, it makes a 1-point difference. No way.
Crunch is actually going to take the win here. 33-32 for Team Crunch for the additional fresh hook there. Really, really huge. And this is going to make the Blight set even more exciting.
That is... Oh, man, that is so tough. Yeah, it's interesting going right from one S tier to another here. So you love to see that it's so tight here. And I know we saw that the Blight was really tight amongst 2 teams again. So I'm going to be excited to watch Blood Lodge in this next set for sure.
This is going to be a very, very intense game. We are moving forward into set number 2. And we are going to the next one after a break.
All right, let's go ahead and take another trip back into the fog here. Going to be seeing Jazzy out here for Crunch on the Blight, whipping it all the way back here to that glowy totem. Not going to find anyone back here. Not sure if anyone spawned by that thing. Would kind of be a nice surprise, I'm sure, for Jazzy if that was the case. We see pushed up into the corrupt side of the map, though. Didn't find anyone just quite yet. And I'm going to be interested to see how quickly it comes into play and how much of a play it happens to really cause onto this trial. But it's interesting to see more and more killers opt for the Pentimento.
Yeah, the Pentimento is the new backup, we could say. Whenever your ruin is cleansed a little bit too early, that will be interesting once Undying is coming back. Once Behavior has removed this aura bug on Undying, if this is staying consistent with the Pentimento, or if teams are switching back towards the Undying, that will be interesting. However, our Emanuele is taking a good first chase here, but greedy with the DH, not dropping the pallet, deciding to press E, and that's not going to work out here. So the hook is coming through right next to the Hex Ruin. That's going to be a little bit tricky for the survivors now, because you can guard it. However, I feel like now you exposed your totem, right?
Yeah, like I understand wanting to bury the survivor deep back, but I feel like you probably also had a hook somewhere back behind main, possibly, or not behind main, behind Shack, that you still also could have used. I mean, the good news is if you're able to get a hook, especially here quickly, onto Karma, who was on the generator that was closest to you, that could be big. We do see, though, plus 10 wood added to, well, the shoulder, as we do see now also the unhook across the way. So probably going to be seeing one of those survivors breaking that generator, or breaking that totem back there. So you would really like to at least get a second fresh hook in exchange for it.
And this is now going to be the mind games with the Claudette here. Good patience by our Claudette. Karma doing a really, really strong job. And this is going to be quite some time for the Survivor team. Jazzy going to check on which generator they're checking next. It's going to be the midsection here with Karma once again. And that was a very, very nice one here at the cast, getting the down. That was really, really well played.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful to see in motion there, to be able to establish the down. The other thing that's worth noting here is we've gotten rid of a couple of these filler pallets that are in the middle of our map here. Yeah, we lost our ruin. I feel like we should probably wait on putting up the Pentimento, wait until maybe see if you've got a hook back there at some point that maybe you can kind of guard with the Pentimento itself. But, I mean, again, our survivor is doing a very, very good job here, moving in as soon as Jazzy is too far away from the hook, coming in quickly behind, getting the save. We see Claudette, though, not able to make too much distance, going to be moving more over here towards like our 9 o'clock area of our map. Don't think they're going to be able to make their way to that pallet space. Actually, Jazzy doing a good job zoning Claudette away from the pallet here. We see trying to crowd the Blight, try to use the vision against them, but not going to be the case. Claudette back up on the shoulder, and she slaps him with the D, says drop it. Now going to extend this chase, and because of how long this chase has been extended, it causes Jazzy to drop this chase here.
Very, very good resource management now by the Survivor team here, using the decisive strike effectively there, and they are moving towards the top corner here, forcing Jazzy to check on a generator. There's 2 of them being completed at the bottom side. Wow, 2 gens remaining, 2 stages so far. This is not looking good for Jazzy here. Team Crunch kinda losing the positive mindset they should have from the Nurse set here. They need some pressure back onto these survivors. Blood is receiving an injury here. This one is really, really important. We do see another survivor here on the bottom side crossing at the moment. Nia takes the down, though. This will be a basement hook, but this basement hook won't be that huge because the generators are on the other side of the map.
Yeah, we even see, though, not even taking the time to go all the way to the basement. Honestly, being all the way back on this side of the map, with nothing being close to that totem, I was actually going to say, wouldn't be surprised to see us go back and try and put up that Pentimento, because I don't know if we're ever going to go back to that far back corner at this point. So that might end up being what's going to result in an like almost like a wasted perk, right? Which is really bad because I mean we're seeing right now our survivors are doing fantastic right now as far as the objective side of things go. Not going to be able to find the connection here. We know that this generator in the middle has a lot of progress as well, and I mean you can see the indecision right now from Jazzy. I think part of that is because of the pressure that our survivors have been able to put out here thus far from Osiris. We have the heal onto Blood basically at the same time that you find the connection here onto the Nancy. Nancy now going to be moving more a little bit closer towards the Shack side. Should be able to find this pallet space. Get stunned, stupid. Able to move back towards Shack. There's generator number 4. We know this generator here in the middle of the map has a whole bunch of progress on it as well.
Now going to be tricky, right? Jazzy has 2 survivors injured, but you can't overcommit at the same time. Claudette taking another one. You're vaulting into the killer with the light there. So the successful dump tag, we could say, in combination with an exhaust perk here being taken. This is another full reset of Team Osiris here. They are doing a really, really strong job. You can see they want to fight back in set number 2. They want to take this set for themselves here. And Crunch Killer Jazzy is really struggling right now. 3 stages so far. We even see body blocks being taken, which is unusual for Blight. So we can see the confidence on the side of Osiris. I'm just not sure if being that confident is going to be beneficial, because potentially you could have grouped up on generator number 5.
Yeah, and there it is actually now as you mentioned it there. Yeah, generator number 5 does get popped, which means not only did we not see the Pentimento come into play, but while we see this chase going on, remind me, Dyer, did we even see a pop use? Is that 2 perks that we got no value out of? So this is really unfortunate for Jazzy here. I mean, we're also going to be seeing the Nancy trying to move back here for Shaq, going to be able to get the vault in as well. A couple of quick kneels to assert dominance. Now working around with the point tag. 1, 2, 3. I don't think that's going to be enough. You get the pick up before the hatch, right? Okay. So you are able to at least get yourself the elimination just in the nick of time. And I think, is that the last fresh as well?
I do hope no, it's not even a fresh hook. 5 and 5, 6 coming out here, so this is going to be really, really tough. This is going to be overall a 16 for Osiris, 15 for Crunch. So a Survivor team taking a lead against an S-tier killer. That's really, really rare. And that shows how much Osiris is ready to fight back here in set number 2. I mean, just handing out 6 stages, that's just absolutely impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we really saw them fighting a lot in the middle there. So to be able to, still make sure that you get the fresh out was absolutely huge. You limit the amount of stages that you hand over as well. Definitely has to have you feeling good, especially after the way that we had seen set number 1 come down to a difference of just 1 point here. So now it's really going to be up to our survivors here if they're wanting to come to an early decision to really step up to the plate and make sure that they can beat that peso. Some might even call it crunch time. We'll be moving into trial number 4 here after a very quick break.
And we are back for this deciding trial on set number 2. The Blight on Blood Lodge, starting off with a very, very nice stun. Emanuele has a very nice win condition as Jazzy for Team Crunch only managed to get 6 stages here. I'm saying only, not because it's a negative result, but especially the swing towards the end by from Team Osiris was really, really strong there. So Osiris will feel really, really good here. Adam is going on a little bit of a run here in the corrupted area. So this is what our team really, really wants to see, because the pressure needs to put back onto Osiris here.
Yeah, they do a really good job here. That Adam does, tucking back, avoids the hit, then gets onto the other side of those tires there, far enough to where you don't have to worry about the collision, and then also getting the fast vault into the shack here as well, doing a good job of getting a lot out of a little. Nice job doubling back through the window here as well. We saw bought enough time for generator number 1. No ruin currently in play. It gets stunned, stupid. We see the ace here coming in with the juice, but unfortunately get behaviored, big boy, getting a little too cocky around the pallet. That's going to be the down. Might have bought enough time, though, for generator number 2, maybe even generator number 3.
Yeah, a lot of time has been taken here, and this travel time towards the hook can sometimes be a very deciding factor. We do see the pop being brought into the trial, so a quarter of a generated progress will be taken very soon. It's going to be the main one, and 2 minutes into the trial means that corrupt intervention is now going to be expired. So access to all remaining 6 generators here. We do have a survivor here on the top left side, but once again we're chasing in a good area for the survivors, far away from the active gens. It's going to be Mac taking a hit. Interesting that there's no pallet drop to allow to force the Blight to go around this. Good move right here though. And they are going towards the area with the finished generator. So really, really good location picking, we could say, by our survivor team. They're making sure to not interrupt each other. This is going to be survival for the Mac, though. Now actually another very, very great run. Crunch is struggling back here.
Yeah, they're doing a good job fighting all the way back. Going to tuck around this table here. Oh, able to bait out the swing here as well. This is going to be the Meg bringing more distance. Should be able to make it. I think we still have this pallet space around here. No, there is no pallet here. Question is, do you make it to the pallet by the tractor? That's not going to be the case. Now our killer in a very unfortunate decision here. Do I want to go ahead and pick up the survivor, or do I go for the slug knowing that I need so many stages and we've already completed gens?
Yeah, we do. I feel like it's on edge, right? Oh, there's the flashlight attempt as well. I feel like it's on edge, right? If these survivors manage to get 1 or 2 additional objectives out very, very soon here, or go on a third very impressive chase here, that might be really, really tough for Emanuele here, for Team Osiris. However, if the next down is coming in quickly and he keeps the objectives under control, that could backfire onto our survivor team. For now, though, we don't see an aggressive gameplay by our killer, and I'm not sure if he has the time right now to go for a camp here.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of stuck in a situation where, because of the, I don't want to say the lack of hooks because that makes it sound tough, but it's kind of the tough situation you're in. Lack of hooks that you're in right now. You don't have that opportunity. You need to get other downs. I mean, you've at least gotten a tag here onto the Atom, but if we have somebody rotating over, and especially if they get that middle gen, if this middle gen's the next one that goes and we're kind of stuck in this 3-corner sort of situation with these last couple of gens, it's going to be a hard, really hard spot to come back from as far as for our killer. But it looks like at least our second stage is going to be getting forced here as we speak. The question is, where is the Atom? Have they been able to find safety to get healed, or are they just simply working on a gen? Because of course, the more time that we spend around here, we had 120 seconds of hang time. That should be plenty of time for our survivors to crush 2 gens if they're being efficient.
Yeah, if they're being efficient, that is the condition here. We are kind of on 2 generators still. We do see there's one very far on the right side next to the main building, but there's also kind of a triangle 3-gen around this hook here. And for our survivor team, it's going to be crucial if they go for a rescue, which is coming out very sneaky here. They need to make sure that they are not getting hooked in this setup once again. David is doing a good job running into the midsection here, but now going back towards the setup. The collision not coming through. This might be huge though, but the survivors need to stop running back into this triangle queue. If they keep being hooked here, that's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, this is not where you want to be going down. I thought we had kind of seen where David had been able to kind of rotate more towards the middle of the map. However, you will notice generator number 4 did complete, but when generator number 4 got complete, it was not that middle gen that I was telling you we really needed to get done for generator number 4. So we have played ourselves into this 3-gen. Unfortunately, we have not been able to capitalize, get ourselves David onto a hook. So David now being back into play. All 4 survivors up, and they are vertical here, playing around this pallet space, able to avoid the swing and the miss. Now using the flashlight to at least get the blind. I don't know how much distance you get though, because you have pretty well created a Z zone, but you've at least been able to pull this the killer back towards the corner. So maybe 2 survivors are on this hill, Jen, but otherwise we're in trouble.
Yeah, we need 3 additional stages for the killer. We still have an additional generator. Never mind. There's going to be generator number 5. We're in the end game, but we can see Noed being brought in the trial here. Our killer needs to keep the stages here to go for the win for Osiris. We still have a few pallets to be removed from the trial. There's an unhook coming in across the way, so this is going to be quite some pressure. Beautiful. The DH saving the day, and there's the lights at the gate already. This might be really, really huge.
Yeah, this is extremely tough. I mean, the good news right now is you do still have the Noed pretty well hidden, right? Because you did do the first hit with the rush attack. This time, though, that is going to expose it. That is going to be a down here. We're going to have to look at these stages, because if David had died, I believe that would have been the tie. I can't remember if this survivor here, Adam, has been on the hook. They have. So I believe that still puts them in the situation where they need this tie, right?
I think...
Or the save, I should say.
I think it can be a tie, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, we had 5 stages out of the... No, we need 7... Wait, this shouldn't be enough. If they just leave, they should be fine, because we had 5 stages out of the door, and now it would be 6 stages out of the door. Right? Left?
Unless it's all about well, because we didn't have a fresh hook last game.
Ooh.
So I think you need the save, which is why it's big. I mean, now we saw that they were able to get oh no, but it's David. You've got body blocks here. Now the question though is, are you going to be able to keep David safe? We also got to make sure that we're keeping Jake safe as well, because Jake is a fresh hook. That's a lot of stages here, and that's Jake getting caught out of position here at the TNL. That is not what we want to see, but of course we can get some heals. The only problem is we are on a timer. The time clicking down slowly but surely, and I don't know if we oh, nice body block here at this point from the Meg. But now at this point, 4 injured survivors all the way around. And, I feel like, oh no. Wait, is this a survivor heading back towards Shaq? Stop playing with me.
Seems like a hatch escape being planned for the very end here, but Jake is still on this TNL, and the end game collapse would award all points to the killer here, so they need to make a move, and I don't think they have the time. Jake will go down here. Unfortunately, we do see a 3-man escape very likely here. David's still in the trial. There is going to be the escape now, but this should push the killer of Osiris over the needed win condition. Yeah, this is going to be the win for Osiris, and in the background queue we got the confirmation. It would have been a tie if Crunch would have left the trial. Of course, a tie is not what you want, but it would have been better than handing out the set point to Osiris.
Yeah, but I feel like it's easy to say now that we know the result.
That's
right.
That's very true.
If you make the save there and then you get the point, then you're talking about, being able to just it's set base. You get the set base score, and that's what you're needing. But unfortunately, in this situation, the good news is, since you won set 1, now at least it goes to a 3rd set. So that's the benefit, right? Since you won the set, you can take that risk because you still have set number 3 that you can rely on. The interesting thing, I should say, is we have just gone through the Nurse, the Blight, 2 of the high action, the high tier, the very much, need to make sure you're on top of your P's and Q's for fast decision making, to now the Plague, where you got to slow things down. So my question to you, Dyer, is, as the team who just walked out here and kind of gave up that set point, what's the kind of communication look like in Discord preparing for set number 3 here?
I think you mentioned the core point here, right? It's set-based scoring, and you need to not interpret this loss as I made it sound like, with the, okay, we could have went for a tie, but we lost the set point now, so making it negative. You should say to yourself, we tried, because we are confident. We tried because we are confident. Yes, it didn't work out, but we have set number 3. We have shown a good performance so far. We are staying confident we can pull this. I think you need to interpret the loss of set number 2 that way. And if Crunch is able to make that, because they played a really good Survivor game, it just came down towards this end game here. And if they are able to interpret it that way, they might show us a very, very good performance here in the final set for today, which is going to be the Plague, started by Osiris. We're going to switch to the Suffocation Pit, and we're going to catch you after a break. Welcome back, everybody, to set number 3 for Osiris and Crunch, making a decision here in trial number 5 and 6. We rotated to the Suffocation Pit, and I was just looking at it as well. What would you say? There was an RNG rain dance.
Did the rain dance to RNGs? Oh my goodness, out here. Basically like a loose 5 gen we're looking at, with this middle gen really more rotated up towards the main, and then even one of these 3 bottom gens kind of rotated more to that middle area as well. So, I mean, at this point, especially since the survivors spawned over here, you can kind of just vibe back here, expecting to try and find some survivors. It looks like we got some scratch marks on the backside here. Not exactly sure who that is. It looks like at least the Mega. Not sure if that's the only survivor back here, but we are going to see them at least right away starting to hump main back here, try and see if they can at least extend this chase a little bit. Unfortunately, giving away an M1 and then kind of like a little delay before getting to the window. I don't know if, unfortunately, just not being able to capitalize here, going for the balanced landing play, not going to be the case. This is a down around the 80-second mark back here on the main building when you're looking at a 5 gen and a basement hook to boot. Sheesh.
That's the right expression right now, because with this generator setup and the huge basement hook right here below 2-minute mark as well is absolutely incredible. We see the 2 lonely generators there at the bottom side, and then this amazing setup here for the top side. Really, really strong, and our killer will feel really, really good with this basement hook here. We do see the information tool coming out on the power deadman switch in the back pocket as well. You even have access to a corrupt pool here, so I don't think there's going to be any basement rescue in the near future.
Yeah, and I mean, now we're going to see the crow. Oh, nice job to at least avoid the first shot here from the corrupt pool. It's interesting here to see as far as the strategy. It's one thing that I absolutely love about watching the Plague when it comes to competitive DBD is the different strategies, because for so long we saw teams really opting to go with the amulet to make sure every time you got the use of your power, you got longer duration. Here we see bringing in the double apple, so we have more options as far as those pools. Even though we've got a basement hook on a very first early down here, though, we do see our survivors doing a great job pushing back 2 generators done. Unfortunately, though, they are the gens that are kind of over across the way, so the 5 gen still intact.
And there's now really, really risky moments for the Adam. There's oh, good job on this ballot here. Now you maximum take the infection, but he even manages to play around that for quite a while here. Serene is still on the hook, though, in the basement, and this is going to be a very, very tough rescue mission there. So we might see the elimination coming in, and the difficult thing is usually when you do get a survivor removed from the trial, you want the difficult gen setup being broken, but this is not possible because it's right here around the main building and the basement hook. So our survivor team is going to face a difficult challenge here.
Yeah, and it's tough for a couple of reasons, right? Because sometimes if you happen to have an early elimination, kind of like the one that we're seeing here, maybe you can get lucky, have the hook that's sacrificed be in the end of like the or be in the like hook spread that you're trying to end the game at in the middle of your 3-gen, right? But instead, here what we're looking at is the fact that the elimination hook is in the basement. So you actually do not have to worry at all when we talk about having to like worry about any sort of resources on the backside here. You've still got all of your gens in place. It sounds like at least the one that's back here had a decent amount of progress, as well as the one a little bit closer towards mid. But when we talk about the 3-gen that's still lined up along the backside of main, looks like it has very minimal progress to it. So I think you're definitely vibing here.
Yeah, for the killer, it's going to be a good time. We see the survivors doing the right thing, though. They are trying as best as possible here. They are leaving the generators early, and I do think this might be a very, very slowed down mid game here, where the survivors are trying to go percentage by percentage. You potentially also just take this generator out here to have the 2 points on your side and then go for the setup at the top here. But this 4-gen is going to require quite some coordination and quite some strategy. This is going to be the ace being infected now as well, and I do think the killer of Osiris has time to just pinpoint the survivor here for the full infection. He's not going for it though. We do get the information of another survivor with the infection over there. This is going to be the mind game around this pallet, and of course says we'll try to zone the survivor back towards the top side into a setup, and he's doing a really, really good job doing that. Ace might not make it that far here.
Yeah, I mean, we see moving back, though, at least away from the generators. I mean, you had mentioned you had kind of like allotted yourself some time there, but yeah, I don't know if I continue the commitment to this side of the map. You still have a 3-gen, well, 4-gen, really still on this side of the map. And when you talk about as far as where we're at score, as far as like wanting to really set the pace here, I mean, I feel like you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward. So it definitely makes sense to not overextend chase. But since we haven't seen this one make pop that's a little bit more topside, makes me wonder if maybe we have a survivor trying to attack the 3 that are at least on the across the top. But with Jake going down here, this is going to be close to a basement as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see if we do actually take. Oh, no, not the basement, but it's still a hook buried so far back. It might as well be the basement, right?
Yeah, our killer not trying though, but that could have been really, really close here. This is going to be a kick now onto this generator here. So that meant switch activating over there as well. So even though cross top map, these survivors will not be able to attack these generators here. Once again though, nice move for the power, waiting it out once again into the infection. Ace is going to take that with him though. So we need to go back onto the top set here. Deadman switch coming into clutch once again. And yeah, if he keeps zoning the survivors into the top side, and Adam is infected here, so he might be broken very soon and then being a normal M1 hit. If this is going to be the case, that the survivors are constantly zoned to the top side by Osiris here, then this might be the difference between taking outs or the 4K.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely going to be big too if you get the back on this side with that dead man switch, right? Because then you just start pushing survivors that are on the gens; those get slowed down. Oh, just before it switches over though, so that hit basically going to be for free. It also gives Adam a little bit of a speed boost to move back towards that shack side of our map here. We do see though we've been able to find our Jake out of position. Jake going to go for the point at least to get into the pallet space. Not sure if we happen to have any pallet save enjoyers around here. Don't hear anybody. So this is at least going to be a second stage onto Jake. We see the last 2 gens getting complete as well. Our survivors really fighting back here.
I have to say that I was not expecting them to get these generators done with a 4-gen setup on top, with a basement hook, and this might be the backfire from this overcommitment earlier. It seems to be not much, these 20, 30, 40 seconds towards the other side of the map, but it does have a huge impact, because if 3 survivors are hopping on these gens, 40 seconds is a full generator already, and they have perfectly punished the time the killer gave them. So Xeus felt a little bit too confident here and gave the survivors too much space, and Crunch was perfectly punishing that. Our killer has a little bit of extra time though. There's still half of the time for the No Way Out here with 2 stacks, so a few more seconds before the exit gates can be prepared. We do see the unhook coming in, so the survivor location is also revealed now. They are going to split up here, but if our ace is taking a quick down, this might still end in a 4K.
Yeah, I think regardless, I think Ace is the survivor that you want to find right now. I mean, obviously Jake just came off of the hook. Same thing with the Atom, right? You would really like to be able to find that last fresh, but regardless, this is going to be the elimination. Now going to be a 2v1. We have 2 survivors left. The No Way Out has since expired. No one currently on our door back here. We do see someone back here by main though. Not sure what those sound notifications that we're hearing back behind us are, but we're going to be seeing our Plague doing a very good job zoning out this survivor. This is, I think, the ace as well, which is very, very unfortunate. This is the survivor who is worth the most points to you right now. Not sure if at least we're going to be able to get Adam out the door, get yourself 2 stages. That's going to be a big swing and a miss though. That's going to allow us to build some distance. Unfortunately, the distance that we build is into a dead zone, which does result in Ace now being on the ground. We see the door open. I would imagine this is going to be Adam just taking the out here. But again, unfortunately, a lot of stages sacrificed here in the end game.
Yeah, this is going to be a 2-stage escape. Still impressive considering what the survivors faced here, but it is going to be a 24-12. 24 Osiris, 12 points going to Crunch. And that means our killer needs quite a lot of stages here. We need 11 stages on the killer side of Crunch, and that's, with Plague on Suffocation Pit, quite a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, we even saw in that last trial, right? Like you had, I don't want to say everything kind of lined up for you, but you're given the 5-gen with the Corrupt being back on the 5-gen side. You're talking about getting a down very early in the basement. If that's not enough to get 10 stages, or to get 11 stages out the door, it is going to be one heck of a performance needed by our killer coming out in this next trial here. So I definitely don't envy them, but if they can pull it off, I'm definitely here for it. So I know we've had a pretty long day. We're going to go ahead, get lined up for trial number 6 here, and be bringing that to y'all after a very quick break. All right, and it all comes down to this. Looking to see if Sorrow is able to get down with the sickness. Looking for 11 stages here, and we can see loading in, unfortunately not gonna have the same help as far as from RNG here. We see more of kind of your typical 3-1-3 setup, which does mean even more so Sorrow really going to need to get the ball rolling here early. We do see coming in with that very aggressive build, in the sense if you're bringing in the double apple add-on. That's something we're starting to see more and more. We have found a survivor over here. That's going to be the Nancy, getting a very early sickness at least started. Wouldn't be surprised to see if maybe we can get it down and then use one of these corrupt pools and push up into the corrupt or uncorrupt side of the map. But doesn't even look like going for the down. I think right now instead going to just try and use this, not use the corrupt pool, just try and find another survivor, which is the Claudette here, I think.
Yeah, the strategy seems to be the infection across the survivor team, which is an interesting one, right? Because we have seen a lot of plagues lately, especially when they are close to the corrupt pool, aggressively picking it up and trying to force the first down as quick as possible, get the pressure started in terms of unhooking and resetting. But this is not going to be the case. A very nice puke here though on the survivor is zoned all the way back towards the top side here. So if the down would come through here on this setup, that will be a very, very good hook location for the mid game, and I think our killer realizes that.
Yeah, and we do see here going to get the tag, not even waiting for the full infection. Tries to get the second shot by the pallet space, not going to be the case. Now at this point, going to be seeing Nia working through the main building. There was a second survivor, not sure exactly who that was we had seen lurking in the shadows when we had kind of worked our way through the short side. Now going to have to play this pallet space very, very cautiously, as of course the stun would cause this the breakout of the power. Instead, going to get the down on the backside of our main building. However, this has potentially bought our team some time to start completing some generators, as we do see that the corrupt is off of those things. We also see the Atom taking one hit here. Not sure if that's a potential breakout play. We're going to be seeing a dropped survivor here. This is also causing more slowdown on the gens, of course, because it now is an extra stack of the Thanatophobia.
Yeah, this is going to be huge if the basement hook would not come through because of this body block right here. It might make up for the dropped efficiency there with the survivor being here, but there's another one in the chase though. So Adam was busy going for this play here. There's the Nancy close by and she is not making it that far, so this might be a little bit tricky here. The first generator is coming out. This hit not going to come through though, but we have another power pool here as well for later. We have a 3-gen on main, Blood still slug. This might become really, really a back and forth, but we do need the hook on Blood though, wherever this survivor is going to end though.
Yeah, and I mean, we see the survivor hasn't yet been picked up off of the ground. I'm not sure if part of that is to see if maybe they can force Sorrow into just go ahead and feeling the pressure and picking up, even though they won't be able to make it to a position, or if they just haven't been able to find themselves in a scenario. But we do see now getting up off of the ground anyway. So we're going to be moving around main here. Actually, as we're moving around main, I mean, we still have 2 survivors, I mean, that we haven't seen for a while, most notably going to be the Claude. Well, there's the Claudette actually now, as I'm actually mentioning it. Doesn't get sick, though, so if Claudette can stay behind us, especially if this chase moves up towards Shaq and they can break up this 3-gen on main side, this could spell disaster for our killer here.
Yeah, this might be really, really huge. And there you can see like one play sometimes denying a hook stage, cutting out a few seconds can have such a huge impact into the trial here. However, Blood is going down. There will be another hook on the top side you're looking for as the killer. And our killer Sorrow is actually going towards the corner here as well, making it a little bit more difficult for the survivors to move all the way towards the bottom side. So this is going to be a kick on these generators as well. There's one generator being completed in the distance. Actually, Q, now where I see this is one of the tightest 3-gens for a long time on Sappho.
Yeah, so you might not have gotten like the 4 or 5 gen, right? But you do have a very nice gen set up right now where you're at here. The only thing is you're going to be losing a hook potentially here if they end up allowing. I don't think they're going to allow this survivor to get sacrificed, but it is going to be something that we're going to have to keep an eye on, right? Because if we start losing hooks back here, especially since I think I saw a door back behind us as well, I mean, it could spell trouble.
Yeah, the number one challenge for our survivor team is going to be to get this unhook and move yourself out of this map location. This needs to be done. If they keep being hooked here inside this very tight 3-gen, it will be almost farming the hook stages for our killer here. They do go for it. Is it going to be a trade or is it going to be the move towards the bottom side? That's going to be the question here. A third survivor is rotating in. They realize how important this is, but everyone rotating over also means decreasing generator efficiency, and Claudette is going down, and I don't think that's far away enough from the hook. This is going to be the rehook inside of this very difficult 3-gen here. So for our killer, everything is going as planned.
Yeah, I mean, just doing a really good job of making sure you're set up for the end game here. I mean, especially you don't need all of the hooks right now, right? If you can just slowly start plugging away, and especially as we've kind of seen throughout the course of today, throughout the 2 matchups, the several sets, sometimes it's just about forcing the survivors into those mistakes. So if you can play the slow, methodical game, especially on a killer like the Plague, where you start in the long term forcing the decisions, do I cleanse, do I not cleanse? So, you know, back and forth there, then you're talking about maybe instead of not just trying to get to that 11 hook mark, but just maybe you can wrap this thing up with a 4K in set number 3.
Now, this is going to be tricky for our killer as well, because we have seen the overcommitment before, and the survivors are trying to bait him here towards the bottom side. You can heal. They are not healing there in the open for no reason. They know how important it is to get Sorrow down there, but he's not going to fall for it. He's not going to leave the pressure, drop the pressure here. We have, and this is the interesting case, right? We have 2 stages only so far. This is the impressive thing. The killer's in a very dominant, very good position right now, but he has only 2 stages. So this is very, very impressive there on this side. And if the survivors would find a moment where they get this safe, where they move towards the bottom side and then go for these generators, that could change everything in 1 second.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing here at this point, did at least a good enough job pulling that aggro to allow for the free save here, in the sense of that you didn't have to take any additional hits. We do hear this generator back here behind main, still has a whole bunch of pressure on it, has a whole bunch of progress. It doesn't take too much from there, 20 seconds or less to be able to get things done. Swing and a miss at the window. Of course, right now we have 2 survivors who are going to be slowing down the generators 10% thanks to that Thanatophobia. Depending on how far away we are from seeing Adam entering that broken status as well, that will be an additional 5% slowdown. And our survivors have already used a lot of the pools, so would then in turn be needing to cleanse on this side of the map, which is giving Sorrow use of that power back here amongst the 3 gen. So I understand them wanting to play cautiously. The question is, how cautious are you willing to be? Because we see 1 cleanse coming in, which at least gives yourself 1 pull a little bit closer to the 3 gen, but essentially at this point, the next cleanse Sorrow can easily use to protect the 3 back here.
Yeah, this is going to be, for our survivor team, this is one of these moments where you ask yourself, they are not making mistakes, they have the right ideas. And what are they supposed to do if the killer is able to keep up quite some pressure here? Because once again, some people would say this is RNG for this 3 gen, but keep in mind we had a 4 gen in the last trial, and our killer here did a good job on zoning the survivors towards this setup and keep rehooking over here, because we have seen earlier today that a very strong generator setup is not going to show or create much value for yourself if you're not getting these injuries and hook stages in. My guy, this is already regressing. Please stop kicking this. Short confusion.
Gotta make sure it's regressing, man.
I mean, it's very important, especially with this setup here, right? Claudette with this sprint burst as well. And this is the infection. This is now going to be rough, though, because very soon, everyone is going to be 1-tap.
Now, hear me out, though. We have multiple people completely injured. You can take the risk right now. You've honestly kind of allowed yourself this risk as the survivor. Let me throw this at you. What if you over cleanse here, give Sorrow 1 use of the power, but then all those pulls across the way get reset and you really slow this things down here? What do you think?
I think that's a good idea, and I think that's needed, because you mentioned the risk, right? The resources are also removed at this point. There are no pallets anymore, and you need to make it over this 50-yard line in the midsection of Suffocation Pit. You need to make sure that you're getting towards the bottom there. Nancy once again cried risky. This is going to be a down, and this is exactly what needs to be avoided on the side of Osiris here. But if they are hopping with 3 men on a generator, that should be the last one being done. This hook is also even more away from the generator, so this adds additional seconds to move back here. I feel like now or never.
Yeah, and this is going to be big because now we see Sorrow using the power, gets the gen done. That was going to be huge, because I was going to say, if they don't get that gen done, 3 survivors injured across the board could have been a very tough predicament. However, even with the 5th gen getting done, since Sorrow had done a good job going 3 for 3 with these fresh hooks, that is 3 stacks on the no way out. So that is going to be plenty of time. 48 seconds, about half of that has expired at this point before our survivors can even start attacking the doors. You get the Atom here. This is going to be another hook, going to be close to your other hook here as well. We do see the unhook coming in, though. Now at this point, around 6 seconds or so before the no way out is off the door. door, and you still have use of your power.
It's a very good chance now to go for a huge endgame here, and we need that. Remember, we need 11 stages by Sorrow to pull this 14 crunch. 10 would be the tie, and if it's only 9 stages, then it will be the win for Osiris. We have a few power pools down here, especially towards the shack side. This is going to be a lot of protection though, but the doors are on 2 opposite sides here, so this is going to be the potential for the survivor team. No Way Out has expired or not? It is expired at this point already. We do see the lights over there. There is the power though. This might be a last second switch here.
No way.
Saving the day for our Adam, but he's going down. Is that going to be a hook? Yeah, this hook is going to come through, but that should be.
And he celebs him with the D.
This is big because this D is going to make a huge difference. It might actually end in a 4-out. And talking about this tight region and how Osiris played this, I think they deserve a 4-out here.
Yeah, I think talking about the fight all the way through the series here and to be able to finish it in this fashion, there's going to be the Claudette taking the out here. Not sure if that's buying time for the hatch or the door, but there it is. 4 survivors out here. Talk about honestly, such a beautiful ending all the way around from the survivors, just really putting on a display there.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be me.